Hey everybody, I'm McJilton. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of VolTalk. I'm here today hosting VolLife, not Vol Experiences this week. Sorry about that. And I'm actually here today with a candidate from each of our SGA campaigns running this year. And we're not only going to talk about the importance of SGA on campus, but we're going to talk about each of their campaigns and how they're going to better each of our experiences on campus. So I want to go ahead and have each of our candidates introduce themselves. So Owen, we'll start with you.
Well, my name is Owen Flomberg, and I am running for student body president with the Impact UT Party. I am from Knoxville, Tennessee. I've lived here for many years now. I am a junior in the College Scholars Program studying political economy with a minor in business administration.
Awesome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
I'm Natalie Campbell. I'm running for student body president with the Vision Party. I also study in the College Scholars Program. I study disability, so a lot of advocacy work, a lot of philosophy, and I also study legal and political philosophy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Hey Mara, I'm Justin Cross. I'm from here in Knoxville, Tennessee, studying finance and food and agricultural business, and I'm a junior. And I'm running alongside Kinsey Bastian and Chad Smith on the Thrive campaign.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. So let's just start out very broad. In y'all's opinions, what is SGA? Why is it important on campus? So however you guys want to start, go for it.
So I'll just start off by saying SGA, I think it's important because it impacts the student experience. For me, when I came in to UT, I wanted to find my home. And so I started off in first year council and eventually got involved with some of our student services committees, eventually got involved with undergraduate students in it. So kind of got all different angles of what student government is, and that's where I found my home here on campus. But I also think student government is so invaluable for our students because we help connect people to one another. So yes, we do legislative work and we do work with administration to affect change, but we also just bring people together through our student services when we have our traditions events and our Big Orange Fridays. So I think it's just a great way to connect students to one another.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, similar to Justin, I got started in first year council here at UT and in SGA. I had done different work with students and kind of advocacy and education throughout middle school and high school, and I wanted to do that here, but UT was just so large I didn't really know where to put it. And so SGA was that place for me. And so when I got into SGA and I was in the Diversity Affairs Committee, also my freshman year, I learned just about so many different types of students that we have here at UT and so many different opportunities within our university. And so then moving into Senate and serving on Senate Exec and now in the executive branch, I've seen a lot of what SGA can do and what we can't do, and the benefit of SGA when it's really working with a lot of students and it's working for students. And so I think SGA is just this really nice can be this point person almost to campus for students and organizations to go in the good times and the not good times, and to kind of work together and to just kind of navigate this campus and this time in all of our lives together.
Yeah.
So I actually get this question a lot. What is SGA? And I think that's kind of a hard question to tackle. SGA is a really different beast than a lot of the different student groups that we have here on campus. And something that we in the Impact UT Party are really trying to do is change the culture around SGA as well as SGA's presence on our campus. There are a vast, vast majority of students on our campus don't really know what SGA is and don't really like SGA, to be honest. They kind of scoff because they really only see us during campaign week when we're out there asking for their votes. So what we're really trying to do in our party, if successful in our bid for the positions that we're running for, is to really start to change that culture and make SGA less focused on itself. There's a lot of people in SGA that are almost like, I'm a member of SGA, Rush SGA, Sigma Gamma Alpha. But I think we need to be doing more than just being a community for students. We need to be a tool for students and student groups on our campus to use to have kind of that pipeline to administration. Because SGA has the legitimacy with administration, but I just don't think that all students kind of understand that, or SGA really hasn't been doing a good job of advocating and letting students use SGA as a tool.
Right. All right, so let's get into each of your campaigns. I mean, you guys definitely understand what SGA is. I mean, you guys have put so much work into it within your past experience with SGA, and I know all students on campus are so thankful for that, and your hard work definitely does not go unnoticed. But your campaigns have been huge this year, and I think that SGA just grows bigger and bigger each year. And like you guys said, the presence on campus is super important. So I just want students to know what each of your campaigns are really all about. So just talk about a few of your favorite things about your campaign, of how you're going to help better each of these students' experiences on campus. And I mean, kind of, how you sell yourself. How are you going to be, if you're president, what are you going to do to help better this campus? Open to any of you guys.
I can start off again. From the very beginning, Thrive, we wanted to be extremely intentional, and that was the word that we kept coming back to, was be intentional. So we wanted to figure out what, from the very beginning, we started with people. And so we had, for the last 3 months, Kenzie, Chad, and I have met with countless students, organizations, figuring out the good, bad, and ugly of their student experience. Not having conversations about what can we do for you or what would get your support. Having conversations with them about what has been great about your time here at UT and what could have made that experience better. And through that dedication to those personal conversations and personal relationships with students, that's actually how we came to our policy platform. So I'm extremely proud of the platform we've created. In my opinion, it's one of the most far-reaching platforms in my involvement in SGA, because I think it covers all different parts of the student experience, because like I said, we wanted to talk to students all over campus, but they're also extremely actionable. So we have over 30 actionable policy goals that we think we can realistically bring change to and actually deliver to our campus. So that's kind of where Thrive came from, and that's been our mission from the beginning.
Awesome. Whoever wants to go next, it's up to you guys.
Sure, I'll go for it. So yeah, thinking about kind of forming a campaign and what does that look like and what do you want the personality and the character of your campaign to be, I thought a lot about whether or not I even wanted to run. I had a lot of friends who had been in exec positions, and I saw that it wasn't necessarily a glamorous job. Like, there were a lot of fun parts about it and you got to make change, but it was hard, it was tough. And so what finally kind of made it worth it was just looking at all of the students who wanted to be part of it when it wasn't even something yet. And so I work a lot with the Future program, and so having those students tell me, like, Natalie, you have already done work with us and we need you to do more and we want to be part of that, was really impactful. And then kind of even reaching beyond that and looking at a lot of other students. And so when I approached Isaac and Emerson, Isaac running for vice president and Emerson for student services director, I loved that Isaac and I both started in first year council. I stayed in SGA predominantly and he went outside of SGA. And so I think that's a really special perspective. And then Emerson hasn't been involved with SGA before. He's done a lot in Greek life, serving as vice president of his fraternity, Sigma Nu. And so again, just a totally different perspective. And I think that is very true throughout all of our members. We have a lot of senators and general members, some of whom who have been involved in SGA, others of whom have never touched SGA before, because kind of like Owen said, they've thought, SGA doesn't do anything for me, SGA doesn't touch me, SGA is this thing over here, and I'm over here, so why should I care? And so showing them that the reason we're running is because we passionately want to pursue students. That's why we're here. We have 3 main pillars of policy: supporting past, present, future students, enhancing campus resources, and then making sure that we're really fulfilling our responsibility as an SGA. And all of our policy is organized in a vision and an action to make sure that we can practically get this done. It's work that we've started on before. It's work that we're going to do whether or not we're elected. It's just we'll be able to do a lot more in a lot more of a broad way if we are given this opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's really cool how, especially like in Justin and Natalie in your campaigns, you've already discussed, I mean, we have such a diverse campus, and that's something that's really important to embrace on a huge campus like this. So I'll turn it over to Owen.
Yes, so I would say there's 3 P's at play here with the Impact UT Party. So the first one is party. We very intentionally use the word party, not campaign, because what I've seen over the past 2 years being involved in SGA Senate is these campaigns form, they do an election season, they make a lot of promises, and then whichever campaign wins, no one's kind of taking that executive action and really pointing to the people that were a part of their campaign to start working on the policies that they promoted. So that's why we're very intentional when we call ourselves a party, not a campaign. The second P is our people. So we have so many people involved in, like, literally every day I feel like that there's more people reaching out wanting to get involved with our party and what we're doing. But we are running a full slate of senators, which I am incredibly excited to announce, and I talk about it all the time because I'm so proud of kind of the diverse group of people we were able to bring together. But I haven't seen a full ticket of senators, 52 senators in a very long time, in any of the data that I have from the years past. So we're super, super excited about that. Our senators are involved all across campus. I think we hit around 150 student organizations that are represented. Yes, I think that's very
awesome.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That are represented in our party. And we also not only have our 52 senators, but we have easily, I don't know the exact number, but 50 plus people that are actively helping out in our party committees, working on different things. So we're super excited, and we have a plan, going back to the party side of things, is next year where everyone's going to kind of shuffle into SGA so that we can hit the ground running and get a lot of work done even over summer. And then the third P is policies. So we are trying to keep our policies as simple as possible because I think sometimes people or SGA campaigns in the past will promise a lot and not be able to deliver much. So we're keeping it fairly simple. We're focusing on just kind of a few areas of policies. So big ones are sustainability policies, diversity and inclusion policies, health and wellness policies, especially focusing on the Student Health Center, and financial insecurity policies. Those are kind of our larger areas there. And kind of beneath each of those policy areas, we have very specific policies that are measurable. They're SMART goals, not just things. In past campaigns have had their whole campaign run on increasing diversity and inclusion on campus. Those words mean nothing. We need to really boil the stuff like that down into actual measurable policy goals, because when you promise to just increase something on campus without any kind of like substance to that, I think that really plays into how people see SGA as kind of pointless. So we really want to change that for next year.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk about each of your campaigns. And like you said with your campaign, like sometimes just keeping things simple, that's the easiest way to go. And especially for the student body, you know, it takes a lot for someone to run for SGA presidential candidate. I mean, you guys are literally representing our entire student body, and it takes a lot to sit here and talk about the important stuff, but you guys are willing to do that, so that's really awesome. Lastly, I just kind of want to touch on voting a little bit. So why is it important that students do vote for what campaign they want on campus next year?
It is so important. It is incredibly important. No matter who you're voting for, it's important that you vote. That is the way that you express your voice. That's the way that you're expressing what you want to see in your campus. And you know, a lot of people don't know what SGA does, but SGA, if done well, can have lots of power to really improve your student experience. The new student union that was built, that was SGA. T-Rex, that was SGA. So many new things that our students are benefiting from, and those are fun things, and even more serious things are also what SGA has a hand in. You know, the student body president, vice president, student services director, they go to the board of trustees meeting. They choose the new chancellor. They don't choose individually, but they sit on the committee that chooses the UT system president. So these are some big decisions that can really affect you, even if you don't realize or even if you don't feel it. And it's important to engage your voice. Yeah.
Do either of you guys have a say on what the importance of SGA is in voting?
Yes, so it is incredibly important to vote, echoing what Natalie just said, but we've seen a lot of crises on our campus, especially over the past 2 years, past 3 years especially, whether it be issues surrounding the state legislature and Sex Week, or hate groups coming to our campus. And at the end of the day, a lot of the organizing that should be done by students when those issues kind of arise on campus is ultimately kind of the responsibility of SGA to help coordinate. And I think you want to be able to kind of pick your leaders wisely so that you have people in there that you feel like kind of not only in your top 3 ticket, you know, your president, your vice president, student service director, but also your Senate seats. People in there that kind of better represent not only where you're involved, but other parts of campuses that you might be involved in, or even if you're not involved in anything at all.
Yeah, and I just have one final thing to add. Natalie kind of hit on it with that. Oftentimes as SGA, we're representative of students to administration, to the Board of Trustees. Well, it's a lot easier for us to go into those conversations, and we have a lot more weight behind it when we have a substantial student turnout. When, you know, if we're able to go and say, these are the things that we promised as all 3, there's some policies that all 3 of us are advocating for, regardless of which campaign you choose to vote for. One of us is going to advocate for it, and if we have a turnout of, you know, thousands of students voted, and we're able to say these students showed their support for this policy, that's going to carry a lot more weight, and it's going to enable whichever campaign it is to put that into action. So that's why we're so excited to just talk to as many students as possible across campus organizations to get the word out. Voting is so important, and we want everyone to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Go for it.
Something that a lot of people probably don't know that's on the ballot this year is there are 2 referendums, from what I understand.
Okay.
One referendum I helped to write about our alcohol policy. So over the summer, the university kind of developed a task force to look at our alcohol policy, and that task force published last summer about 10 recommendations of what should change about our alcohol policy on campus. So that referendum basically says that the university should start doing something about those recommendations because it really hasn't been a lot of action. The second referendum, I believe it was Maria Urias who wrote that, and she's currently a senator in SGA Undergraduate Senate, and it is referring to, and I don't know all the details about it, but looking at how we can reform our student code of conduct when there's really blatant racist acts done by students, how those can kind of be disciplined in a more conductive manner, essentially, like we saw a situation or a few situations this year on Twitter where students were found, really egregiously making racist remarks. Or
Right. Yeah.
Both of these referendum are great, and yeah, Maria, she's running for Senate again with the Vision campaign, and we're really excited to have her. And yeah, like you said, it adds some more language too about what are our explicit expectations of students, and how they're to be volunteers. What does it mean to be a volunteer, and what does that mean in our words and our actions? So, really proud.
Well, thank you guys so much for bringing that up. But speaking about the ballot, so when does voting take place?
Voting will be April 15th. It's a Monday, April 15th through Wednesday, April 17th. It will close at 5 p.m. And here's the important thing to know. It is entirely online, so you will vote. There should be access through Canvas. There will also be, if you go to votesga.utk.edu, that's how you'll vote. All you'll do is you'll log in with your net ID, so what you normally log into with MyUTK, and it'll know what residency you are and also what academic college you're in, and it'll automatically load the ballot that you're to vote for. So that's all there is to it. It'll be online, like I said, for those 3 days. When they close at 5 p.m., they close. All right, so the website is votesga.utk.edu.
That is all I have for you guys today on VolLife. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and giving everyone a little insight of what each of your campaigns is going to stand for this year. Stay tuned, everyone, for Vol Experiences. We're going to go over to Matt and Lexi.